Hi everyone, Andrew Lessman here. Unfortunately, Lincoln isn't here today because we're shooting this sneak peek of the Today Special between my shows, the Maximum Essential Omega-3 Today Special that we're shooting this weekend here in St. Petersburg at HSN. So Lincoln can't be here. But next weekend, we will have the Ultimate Eye Support Today Special. And Ultimate Eye is a product that's appropriate I talk about after the essential omega-3s, because if you've watched my shows, you've learned that the omega-3 fatty acid, DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, so the most important of the omega-3s, the one that we focus on in our omega-3 product, the one that most folks don't focus on, that's basically your retina and the macular region of your retina. That's the primary constituent. But residing within that membrane, the DHA in those membranes, is lutein and zeaxanthin, our lutein and zeaxanthin, the optical pigments, without which we don't have vision. Without which the macula lutea, the macular region, wouldn't have its name, and without which we wouldn't have the most important protective component in the retina, the macular region of our retina. So incredibly important molecules, appropriate to be talked about after while we're talking about the omega-3s here. And we're doing these sneak peeks. And hopefully one day HSN might actually change the way we do Today Specials here. I said, let's pretend we're on the West Coast. So the Today Specials start at midnight West Coast time, which is 9 o'clock East Coast time. So it would give all of us a head start. Because personally, I know that at midnight, I'm generally sleeping, unless I'm doing a Today Special. So these little sneak peeks that we do, an opportunity to see the Today Special, see this video on HSN, and then to see the video online for the next few hours, is a great opportunity to get some information about the product in advance of it being on air. When it comes to Ultimate Eye Support, the research, the clinical studies, when I first started adding this ingredient, and folks were saying, gosh, all you need for an eye product is vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, and you're done. Not true. Not true at all. And that was, say, 15, 20 years ago when I started adding lutein and zeaxanthin, when people would say, gosh, those are extremely expensive ingredients. They don't merit or warrant being added to an eye support product. Obviously, we now know they are the foundation of any eye support product, because they are the critical optical pigments in our eye that our body cannot produce. They're what we get from green leafy vegetables, things like spinach and kale and broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and even peas and corn, but whole corn, not corn byproducts like high fructose corn syrup. So very, very important ingredients. Today, of course, with our Ultimate Eye Today Special, the best pricing of the year for Ultimate Eye Support, even better, the best pricing ever for Ultimate Eye Support. So we've been able to continually improve the product. So you get 10 milligrams of lutein and 5 milligrams of zeaxanthin. So it's as comprehensive a product as you'll find with other botanicals also that support the healthy circulation to and from the isolated tissues of the eye, and also offer further protection to the lens of the eye, to the macular region of the eye, and also ingredients that are supportive of night vision, which night vision is something that suffers with all of us as we get older. Of our 5 senses, most of us would say, if asked what the importance of our senses is, most of us would say, of our senses are, most of us would say it's our vision. That our vision is the most important of our senses, and certainly if our vision becomes compromised, our ability to do so many things, to enjoy life, to watch television, perhaps to read a book, to go out and enjoy life, can be seriously compromised. Being visually impaired is certainly something that causes all sorts of obstacles in enjoying our life. So it's not something we should ever take advantage of our good vision. And the fact of the matter is, and I'll have some interesting charts and graphs on this account, but the fact of the matter is our vision starts changing from a very early age. Our ability to accommodate changes of close and distant, we think that mostly happens around age 40, 45, 50. It actually starts happening when we're 5 or 10 or 15 years old. So our vision changes from the moment we open our eyes, basically as infants. And it's up to us to deliver to our body the ingredients that have been scientifically established to be not not only necessary structural components, we're talking about the omega-3s for our eye, but the lutein and zeaxanthin that are absolutely the optical pigments. So they are a necessary part of the visual system of our eye, a necessary part of the visual filtering system of our eye, and a necessary part of the protective systems in our eye. So these natural ingredients, they're not drugs or medicines. These are part of how our eyes work. And unfortunately, just as I spoke about omega-3s, you don't have to dig very much into research to discover that these ingredients are not part of our diet, and that if they're not part of our diet, we are not able to produce them in our body. We need to get them somewhere. So supplementation, sensible supplementation, is the only logical solution, absent our ability to dramatically change what we focus on in our diet. That we need to consume large amounts of green leafy vegetables, even things, as I said before, like green peas, string beans, deliver an abundance of lutein and zeaxanthin. Certainly spinach, kale, even corn on the cob or niblet corn, a great source of lutein and zeaxanthin. So there's lots of things we could do in terms of our diet, but if we look at the typical American diet, we don't come close to getting the levels of lutein we require, and we're very far away from the levels of zeaxanthin we require. So it's one of those ingredients that, as I've said, we often look at nutritional supplements and think they should be medicines or drugs and deliver instant benefits. We all know how, say, for instance, unhealthy smoking is, but we know it takes decades for smoking to do its damage. And certainly, smoking actually does damage to our eyes and contributes to cataracts and other adverse changes in our eyes. But when it comes to healthy things, whether it's consuming omega-3s or consuming adequate amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin, those health benefits are realized and experienced in the same way. It's not a matter of weeks or days, but really the safest way to look at it, the most logical way to look at it, is over a number of years, over a number of decades. Notwithstanding that fact, because lutein and zeaxanthin act as optical pigments, and because they act as optical filters, lutein and zeaxanthin will deliver results in your vision when you start taking it. And that's what you'll read in the reviews. The same thing with night vision when you start delivering the anthocyanins from bilberry and from black elder extract. Those anthocyanins enable the visual purple portion of our retina to regenerate itself more effectively, therefore contributing, promoting healthier, better night vision. So there are immediate benefits that will be realized with this product, but the real reason you take it is because of the long-term benefits when you deliver the critical optical pigments that are necessary for healthy vision. So I can't underscore how important this product is. I can hardly underscore how important it is to eat a healthy diet that delivers an abundance of the nutrients present in green leafy vegetables. But if we're not going to change our diet, then it's basic common sense. 1 or 2 capsules daily. It's as affordable a product when you consider that lutein, zeaxanthin, and bilberry, and we give higher levels than ever with this formula today, are interestingly enough, the most expensive ingredients that you'll find in any of my products right now. So when you consider that, this is an unbelievably affordable product. It's less expensive today than when I introduced the product about 20 years ago. So a great opportunity to do something wonderful for your vision, wonderful for your body, wonderful for your eyes, and for the future quality of your life. So I look forward to